Hey now, good morning. Maxwell House, early morning pipe match by Sutliff. Had a rough night with a dog last night, and I just woke up. He's getting older, so it's to be expected. And of course, when that said dog just happens to be a mastiff, nothing is small, yeah? Once, once Mojo crosses a Rainbow Bridge, I think I'm going to be done with pets, period. If I haven't buried 40 of them, I haven't buried any. Hmm. The so-called breeders, which were no more than backyard breeders that ended up having Mojo and Karma. We bought them and traded with money and some tattoo work for Mojo and Karma. They were given a clean bill of health, which was a lie. Mojo's sister Karma, she ended up having a heart issue. We took her to the vet, and the vet says to me, well, we can take her now if you'd like. We don't anticipate her making the age of one. These type of instances with dogs are not good. They don't have a tendency to last very long. And by that time, we were already well attached to her, obviously, and to Mojo. Fast forward the clock 3 years later. We had Karma for 3 years, heart issues and all. Vets told us to keep doing what we're doing because they didn't believe that she was doing that good, even though she had really bad heart issues. And you would have known it had you known this dog, because she was an energy bomb. Didn't miss nothing. And oddly enough, this ties in with my video yesterday about me tattooing and answering a question about a little bit of who I am and what tattoos mean. One day, Karma woke up and she was a little weird. Linda, my wife at the time, she spotted it first and foremost. I was busy preparing the space because at the time I was doing some tattooing home-based too as well in a small studio there. And I was getting ready for the 2 clients that I had for the day. And she took a nap in her little, well, not little, in a crate. Mojo acted completely normal. Well, I finished one of the gentleman's tattoos. There were 2 of them. They were brothers, I believe, brothers or cousins. And I hear Linda scream and yell. I had a sick feeling right then and there. Now, mind you, this is in my home. I have clients in my tattoo chair. Karma died in her sleep. She evacuated in a cage. And here I am trying to pull this heavy female mastiff out of the cage, and I did everything that I possibly could to get her to come around, and she didn't. And the 2 gentlemen just stood there with a shocked look on their face. I could only imagine that it was really bad for them too, to see it, you know. So I took my gloves off and told them to give me a minute. And Linda couldn't obviously sit there and just look at her until everything was completed as far as the tattooing was concerned. So I had to take it upon myself, and I had to take Karma out of the home and bury her in the backyard. We had this big ass apple tree that was hit by lightning, split it right down the middle. It was like an arc on each side. And out of that arc, there were lines straight up of apple trees trying to grow off those bends on each side. It was really odd tree. But that's where we buried her. Mind you, it was a mastiff. So, to make matters worse, when you're carrying something that heavy and you bounce when you walk, or the body does, you can hear the air escaping the lungs of the animal, which makes it sound as if they're gasping and they're breathing, but they're not. And that was really rough for her. All the while, these 2 guys just stood there. Buried a hole, put her in a hole, and buried her. Said my piece where the 2 people were sitting there. Went inside, washed up, changed my shirt. I I think it was at that time I was on autopilot because everything just felt surreal, like this wasn't really happening type of deal. And I finished his tattoo up. They were both wicked pleased with it, and they both tipped me. They said that they were sorry, and it was something. It was something. Off the topic of conversation, I got a new lighter yesterday, finally, that I ordered. Brass Zippo. It's a 1941 replica. 1941 replica. I just thought that was cool. Glad to have it. But back to what I was saying. They tipped me and they left. And there I was to pick up the pieces. So it was very unsurreal. Like, it was unreal. It was surreal. I couldn't believe it was happening. So I tried to keep her calm and, break the tattoo station down. And the tattoo machine that I was using at the time, that was my nail. That was my Mickey Sharps. I've tattooed with that particular machine head for 18 years, 16 years, 16 to 18 years. Changed the capacitor on it multiple times. I mean, a lot of the equipment that I utilized at that given time, I had to order out replacement parts for them, and they were really difficult to get because they didn't make them anymore. If that'll tell you anything. So I was taking my area down and breaking everything down after the tattoo and after they left. And that specific machine head, the armature bar just snapped right in half, and it broke in my hands the same day. And now that armature bar was replaced a year prior, and those armature bars have been known to give years of service, not just one. And they're relatively thick gauge metal. Well, it broke. It was a very shitty day. A very shitty day. Mojo ended up going off a feed for a couple days and thinned right down to nothing. Wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink, wouldn't do anything. Because he wanted his sister. And since that day, I put my tattoo gear into just a standard toolbox and haven't picked one up since. So I haven't picked up one in years. I want myself to believe that after they cross over the Rainbow Bridge, that they're all waiting there. Well, I've got an entire kingdom waiting for me because I buried an awful lot of them. I think that's one of the major reasons why I like snakes so much. Because with snakes, their lifespans are incredibly long. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've had more steaks than a single person should ever have at one point. One is named Raj, and she actually was donated by me to the Arizona Zoo. She was a beautiful Colombian red-tailed boa. Beautiful. I've had boas and coastal carpet pythons and normal ball pythons, you name it. I've owned them. Had my own breeding facility for rats and mice and pinkies and the whole 9 yards. At least snakes last. If I'm to be honest, I'm not looking forward to Mojo joining his sister because I just ain't. I'm just not. Hat hair. You ever get hat hair? If you have a hat on too long and head starts to itch like crazy. It was a shit night with a dog. Supposed to have a storm coming in within the next couple days. Yay. Yeah, guys. Just a shit morning. It's not his fault. We all get old. Animals get old. And then a goddamn thing neither one of us can do anything about it. So, it is what it is. I was going through a couple of my sort boxes last night before I turned to and went prone. Come across a real nice piece of bison, crazy horse leather. That's the brand of crazy horse leather. Bison is, this piece is beautiful. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a couple pipe stands with them. Maybe do a video of that sometime later today. energy given and permitted to do so. Yeah, having animals suck when you get attached to them. There are certain animals that I already had the understanding that I should utilize the art of detachment and not become so attached, but it didn't end up working out that way. And you grow attached to them, and it's just weird. Because there's some of them I can saved, or some of them I've saved, and I could save. Others, I just, there's nothing I could do, you know? Everything from heart compressions to yucking shit out of their mouth and getting mouthful of snot and throw up. Not once, but goddamn near 3 times. Well, yeah, 3 times. The 4th time it didn't turn out so good, and that was on one dog. A pug named Giuseppe. The dog was a tough little dog. It's weird because you can save dogs. You become attached to them. Others you don't become attached to. Others you don't get to save, or you can't do anything about. Others you just have to put out of their misery. You'd think I would have learned at 14 not to become attached to dogs. His name was Major. He was a German Shepherd. He was a good dog, for the most part. And given where my mother lived, on the main strip of highway, they'd go through there like the mall gates of hell. Well, that was the day that Major met a Mack truck. One piece of them was in the road and the other one was in the ditch. Hips and legs were in the road, the rest of them was in a ditch. And a fucking dog was still alive in the ditch. I couldn't fucking believe it. I couldn't believe that happened. That's a hard fucking thing to do when you become attached to an animal and you gotta look down the fucking barrel of a gun to put them down. It sucks balls. But then again, that's the age-old statement, isn't it? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You tell him no, stay out of the fucking road, and he does it anyway. What are you gonna do? The pipe ain't cutting it this morning either. Sorry for rambling on, guys. Which that in itself is very fucking unusual, yeah, because in the morning, I'm not a very talkative person, and I know that. But maybe dealing with a dog every goddamn night for the past week is getting to me a little bit. And I'm not going to put him down because his quality of life is still good. He can still see, he can still walk, he can still bark, he can still chew. I don't do that. I see some people, the minute a dog gets old, they fucking throw him away. Or they'll put him into some pound somewhere. Why? That never made sense to me. If you own a dog, or if you go to a pound or adopt a dog or have one blessed just showing up in your lap, that's a given commitment, yeah? So why would you give a dog away? That I'm telling you, that grabs me by the short and curlies, for sure. That really pisses me off to no end. Myself, my mother, my mother's boyfriend at the time, literally would carry Smokey, another German Shepherd. He had really bad hip problems towards the end. Literally carry him with towels to go outside and piss because he couldn't stand on his own. But the fucking dog could still see. He was still medicated to the best that she could afford and had the best quality of life right up to the fucking end, yeah? So, to me, that's what a commitment is. When you get a dog, or even a cat, I don't give a shit what it is, take care of it. Why send it away? I can't do it. Some people can't even go the distance and be with their dog when they're put down. And I get it. It sucks. I get it. But to me, that's when a dog needs you the most. Right? Fucking half hour? I've been fucking yapping for a half hour? Jesus Christ. Well, I apologize. It is what it is, guys. There's a half hour of me fucking belly aching, yeah? Try to have a good day. I'll try to get a video out again sometime today, energy permitting. Stay warm, be safe out there. Okay? And I apologize for the ramble. Have a good one.